How often do you go to the doctor? How often do you get your car inspected? Probably at least once a year. How often do you actually have your home inspected? Has it ever been inspected? And when I'm talking about inspections, I'm talking about the entire house, not just insulation. Today, we're going to show you how standard insulating takes a whole house approach. We look at every aspect of the home, whether it has to do with safety, energy efficiency, comfort, or your particular issues. We want to see the whole house work as a system, how they all interact with each other, and how they all affect each other. And today, we're going to evaluate all parts of the house and provide a report for this homeowner. This is Jason Porter. He's our energy program manager. Jay, tell us what you're doing here at the oven.
We're doing a health and safety test of the home. During the health and safety test, we test for carbon monoxide, drafts, spillage, gas leaks, anything that could be potentially unsafe in the home. Right now I'm testing the oven to make sure that the carbon monoxide levels are within a safe range. And this one, I found that the levels are within a safe range, there's no ambient CO, and we should be good to go.
Okay, off on the checklist. So where do we go next?
We're going to go down to the basement, we're going to test the hot water tank, the furnace, boiler, whatever there might be in the home, and make sure the same thing, that the carbon monoxide levels are within safe range, that everything's burning properly, there's no gas leaks, and we'll check the efficiency of the appliances as well.
Great. So Jay, now that we're down in the basement, what's the first thing that you take a look at?
Well, when I come down in the basement, I take a quick look around, I look for any potential hazards, non-tube wiring, asbestos, something like that, moisture problems. And then I take a look at the furnace and the hot water tank, look for any obvious signs of any potential danger.
Okay.
I get some information off from them, and then I proceed with testing.
Okay.
One easy way to tell if your appliances have ever been tested is to take a look at your flue pipe. If your flue pipe has a hole drilled in it, it's a sure tell sign that you have had a test and it's been tested for combustion and efficiency. Another appliance that we test in the basement is the hot water tank.
What are some of the things a homeowner might do to come down and look at their own hot water tank to maybe think that they should get it evaluated?
Well, with this one here, you can see that the flue pipe actually pitches downward. They actually want an upward pitch to the flue pipe, which helps the exhaust gases go up and out the chimney. So that's one thing that you could look at to see if there's any potential problems. Another thing that you could do is look down around the base, and you can typically tell if there's spillage. Spillage is when the exhaust gases aren't going out of the house and up through the chimney. You'll see rings around here. These little plastic pieces will be melted sometimes.
Okay.
Another test that we do is we test all the gas lines to make sure that there's no gas leaks.
So what happens if you find a gas leak?
Well, it depends. We may need to call National Grid,
Okay.
or we could possibly just get somebody in here quick and take care of it.
Okay, great.
Another thing that we can do while we're down here is take a look around for any air leakage. In this instance, there's a window that's clearly leaking some air there. We'll take a look at the rim joist, any air sealing that can be done in general.
Thanks, Jason. Now we're going to go see Jeff, and we're going to talk about the insulation and air sealing that this house may need. This is Jeff Reese. He's one of our energy consultants, and we're in an attic of the house we're evaluating right now. What are you finding, Jeff?
Well, we've got about a 100-year-old house or so that looks like it was insulated back in the 70s during the energy crisis. What's here has settled and is not getting the job done anymore, so we're just trying to figure out what can be done to bring this up to today's standards.
Okay. This attic actually has a floor on it, so how would we go about doing that?
We can actually blow insulation under the floor. Just take off a strip of the flooring and blow it into each floor cavity there and pack it tight with cellulose.
Okay, so we can get the energy value that the space provides for us.
Yeah, and that actually will do a good job.
Yeah. What other things in a floored attic like this should we be concerned
Well,
about?
I mean, this is where you're stopping the heat, so the other thing to think about is the staircase where the heat's coming up. We want to make sure that that's sealed off from the rest of the living space.
Okay.
So we can insulate the walls in there, insulate the underside of the staircase. And then this house also has got a crawl space. The other section of this house doesn't have an open attic like this. It's got a crawl space that needs to be taken into account there. That insulation is about like this, and it's not even up to the top of the floor rafters.
Okay.
So that needs to be tended to also. But air sealing is important. Anywhere that pipes or anything are coming up from the living space into the attic, you want to make sure that's sealed up so you're not losing actual heat and hot air.
Right, so that'll be done before the insulation goes in.
That's correct.
Good. So let's go downstairs and take a look at the walls and find out any other places that we might be able to insulate in the
Sounds
house.
good. So Jen, besides looking at the attic, One of the other things we assess is the exterior walls of the house. This house is brick. There's not a lot we can do here as far as getting insulation into it. If this was a typical house with vinyl siding or cedar shakes or something, we can take those apart and get insulation, inject it right into the walls. They call it dense packing. It's kind of hard to tell what's in the wall in the summertime. Sometimes we can take outlets off and try to look in, or look in the basement if the insulation has come out in the bottom. In the wintertime, we've got an infrared camera, and we can tell exactly what's going on
inside the house.
Yeah.
So Jeff, once you've done a complete evaluation and checked over all the things that we talked about today, what's the next step?
So we put together a report that lists our findings and all the upgrades that we think would benefit the house, give them associated costs, and if there's anything that other professionals need to be done, give them some recommendations for that, and also anything the homeowner might be able to do that's going to help in the big picture. But figure out what's the best thing to do for the house and promise to save them some money here.
Thank you, Jeff. When you call Standard Insulating, you're not just getting an estimate for insulation, you're getting your whole house evaluated. We're interested in how the whole system works together, and we have a great team of people that can do that for you. Give Standard Insulating a call. Let's do a whole house check on your home.